Spike Lee is known for his bold films exploring complex social and racial issues. His films Do the Right Thing
I told you to be in my neighborhood. I own this brownstone.
and BlacKkKlansman
We must unite and organize to fight racism.
remain landmarks in American cinema. Today, the Oscar winner and NYU professor is making aspiring directors his priority. Here's how Spike Lee helps talent break into the industry. You talked a lot about this idea of the role of parents in helping guide or messing up their kids' career choices or
life.
career dreams or life.
I'm gonna say life. Well, I've said many times that parents can kill their children's dreams more than anybody. And I'm talking specifically about arts. The arts is so mysterious. I mean, you wanna be a doctor, we know what the path, but parents understand this magical, mystical thing in the arts. They don't understand how their child can make a living.
That's
Being
right.
a poet, a painter, a filmmaker, an artist, a musician. They don't understand it. And in their ignorance, not hatred, but ignorance of understanding that, when their children finally get enough courage to tell them, I'm gonna study to be a painter, a singer, a writer, a filmmaker. They're like, hell no. Or your father and I, they're not work our fingers to the bone so you could have a box in front of you on the subway playing, or waiting tables or doing whatever.
But isn't that a realistic thing to say to your kids?
It's the way it's said. When you're given that directive, like either or, you're gonna push that stuff aside, but also you understand the hardships and the sacrifice your parents have made for you. So you wanna do right by your parents, but you're doing wrong to your own self.
Deciding to pursue a career in the arts is hard enough, but then there's getting into film school. Schools that usually prioritize test scores, GPA, and pedigree over creative talent. It's the system that got Spike Lee rejected from 2 out of the 3 film schools he applied to, and he doesn't want anyone else going through that. He recently launched the Spike Fellows program, which helps HBCU students break into the industry. A fellow receives $25,000 of debt relief, mentorship, internships, and full-time employment. All right, let's talk about a way that you are helping people achieve their dreams. The Spike Fellows program, super interesting. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, so often when people graduate from school, that's it. We have a program where 10 graduates from Morehouse College, Spelman, and Clark AU, all in Atlanta, Georgia. I went to Morehouse.
Right.
Where there'd be fellowships where they just graduated in May, they had an internship during the summer, and then once summer's over, they had a job. And we want to be the pipeline.
One of the things I find fascinating about it is that this is a fellowship. You were saying we want people who are like, you could be a B- student, and this is for you. So many of these are set up just for the cream of the crop, the very top.
But
Why did you do this?
I want to say this real quick. Cream of the crop cannot just be told by what your grade point average is. I'll give you an example. When I graduated Morehouse College, I knew I wanted to go to film school. That whole thing of working way up moving out to LA and working way up from the mailroom, that don't work for black people or people of color. I did my research and applied to 3 film schools: AFI, American Film Institute, and USC, and NYU, graduate film school.
Yep.
I'm from New York, but still I wanted, these are the top 3. To get into USC and AFI, one must get an astronomical score in the GRE, standardized testing. I did not get that. Where's my camera? Which one? Ready? Oh. I did not get the astronomical score on my GRE. I did not get accepted to USC and AFI. Thank God for NYU Graduate Film School, where Ang Lee and Ernest Dickerson were my classmates, and Jim Drummer was 2 years ahead of me. NYU understood that standardized tests should not be the barrier whether you can get into a film school.
Yep.
So all you have to do is submit your creative portfolio.
Hollywood, entertainment industry, this is a notoriously difficult industry to break into. And
Tough AF.
how do you do it? I can tell you that we had Patty Jenkins on the show. Her feedback was Hollywood is a brick wall. You have to keep running at it till you find a hole and do anything you can. You work, you get free interns, you work for free, you do commercials, you do whatever you can to break in. Get coffee. Is that the kind of advice that you give? What do you tell people who want to break in, who don't have connections, the pathway?
A lot of stuff depends upon people's circumstances.
Yeah.
I found that the people successful are the people who have that drive. The people who are like from Bed-Stuy, do or die.
Right.
I'm gonna do what it takes and get in this MFO.
Yeah. All right, so what do you look for? You talked about working hard. The way you get in is you just have to put the work in. Mm-hmm. I assume the people in your class want to get into film. What do you tell them about grit?
You're not gonna be the next anointed one. You gotta bust your ass, not a curse word. You gotta bust your rear end. This film thing, TV, there's no joke. This serious business.
And with that understanding, people can then get through tough times or
you got to make the
those?
choice because there are tough times coming, and the ones that are going to make it through, the ones that are going to claw their way in.
The problem with clawing your way into any job is that obviously no one wants to do that. According to a LinkedIn survey, talent in the motion pictures industry say they want jobs with good wages, good benefits, flexible work hours, and work-life balance. You know, the basics. But the industry still runs on the old school model of paying your dues. Your career starts with 3 a.m. call times, 12-hour days, grabbing coffee, grabbing lunch, carrying pounds and pounds of equipment, all for very little money. And it's seen as a rite of passage. But Spike Lee wants young filmmakers to know it's not all bad.
If in your heart, this is a thing that brings you joy, that will get you over all the hardships. I don't want everybody to think this is gloom and doom.
Is that true for you?
Yes, but I was not gonna let that stop me.
Here's what stood out to me. A profession in the film industry isn't for everyone. In fact, according to our data, thousands of professionals in the motion pictures industry jump ship and go into teaching, broadcasting, and marketing. Something clearly needs to change. There has to be a way to get into the industry that doesn't involve hitting insurmountable barriers. It's happening a bit already. Creators are using their own means and social media to get their content out there. And the ones breaking through have a drive that leads them to succeed, because it takes years and even decades to reach your professional goals. I delve deeper into this topic in the This Is Working podcast, which you can listen to anywhere where you listen to podcasts. Meanwhile, tell me, how do you stay motivated at work even when the barriers seem high?